shame-free life.
Hey, shalom and blessings to your family. Hope you're doing well. This is Ronald Zion. Listen, before I jump in this gym, I want to jump on here and I want to thank everyone. I salute everyone who took time out of their busy schedule to celebrate me on yesterday, my birthday, my born day. Thank you so much for the calls, the texts, the emails, social media shout outs. I really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule. Money we can get back. Cars, houses, we can always get that back. But time is something that unfortunately, even though that we know that the Most High God can redeem time, but if you waste time, that which we wasted cannot get back. And it was not a waste on yesterday, but I thank you so much for the investment of your time. And I just want to say that before we jump into it. And speaking of time, I know that the average time span of people's attention is only 6 seconds, but I'm going to take my time with this video. So just bear with me. If you need to come back, come back. If you need to fast forward, then do what you need to do. But I'm going to take my time with this because I think it's a teachable moment for all of us. That's why I'm here. Let's get right into it. The thought came to mind early this morning for me to go back and to revisit Exodus. There's a passage in the book of Exodus where the Most High allowed Moses, who was second in command, had everything going for him in Egypt. Not just a job, but a position. Not just a position, but power and influence. He had everything going for him in that particular region. But the Most High saw it fit that Moses found himself being uprooted in order to be planted and disconnected in order to get connected or to be connected. I want to talk to you very briefly about disconnecting to get connected. Disconnecting in order to get connected. Now here was Moses, again, had everything going for him, found himself in a situation where he did what any honorable and courageous man would do. The advocacy on the inside of him that existed in his DNA. He saw injustice and he got in the middle of it. He saw an Egyptian that was beating his brother, a Hebrew, and he rose up and he took out the Egyptian and buried the evidence, his body, in the sand. On the next day, he sees two of his brothers fighting amongst one another. So again, the advocacy kicked in gear. He stepped in the midst of these two Hebrews and said, listen, you two are brothers. Why are you fighting each other? This is not what we do. And then one said, oh, well, who made you prince or judge over us? Who made you king over us? Little did he know, he spoke a prophetic word because he would be the leader and the judge over them. Who chose you as being king? He said, you're going to do to us what you did to that Egyptian? Oh yeah, I saw you. So at that very moment, Moses found himself being fearful. So now it was the Most High's plan to now drive him out of what he was familiar with. Have you ever been uprooted and not knowing why? Have you ever been disconnected and not know why? Maybe you were uprooted or disconnected from a job, from a relationships, from friends, from certain family members, from certain classmates, from certain circles that you roll with, that you connect with, that you click with. But you found yourself in a particular season being disconnected. It might be from your church. I know I got a lot of pastors on my timeline, and I got nothing but love and respect for them because I am one who sees as well. But you may be disconnected from them in order to get connected. See, it was the familiarity of Moses. It was the complacency of Moses that kept him where he was in that particular region. But what he didn't understand was that he was created for a higher purpose beyond his Egyptian position, Egyptian power, Egyptian influence. And now he had to be violently uprooted. He was drove out. He was driven out. The man was driven out of all that he knew. You may be disconnected from your neighborhood or uprooted. You may be disconnected from a city, from a county, from a state, from a country. You may be viewing me from a different country. You never found yourself living where you are, just uprooted. Don't have any answers. Disconnecting to be connected. I want to encourage you today that if you find yourself being disconnected, then obviously the Most High has a plan to connect you. He has a plan to connect you to your purpose, connect you to people that will validate you. See, what Moses understood was that there was a bounty on his head. The Pharaoh, he bound himself and made a vow to himself, and he sent out a death decree to kill the deliverer, who was Moses. And I may be talking to some deliverers, that there is a spiritual bounty on your head, unbeknownst to you, or you may know it. There are words that were spoken against you. There are people like witches and wizards that are casting spells against you, whether it's spiritual, whether it's their words, whether it's back talk behind your back, whether it's scandalizing your name, whether it's trolling on your page. They ain't nothing but witches and wizards. But what the Most High wants you to understand is that he loves you so much, and he's bringing you now into a region of self-love, self-awareness, self-identity, and disconnecting you from those toxic people, those dysfunctional relationships, those sociopathic and psychopathic people that have a death decree against your destiny and your assignment. So what the Most High Yahweh will do, and it hurts to be disconnected from those that you love, but in order for you to live, he's got to disconnect you from that which is dead. You know, there was a time, and it was very recently, to be honest with you, where I was not getting any internet connection. So I called T-Mobile. Listen, man, listen, what's going on? Now, you all want to get paid on time. Now, I want to have connection on time. Okay, well, you know, we understand that, sir. Well, this is what you do. Why don't you move your router, move your modem from where it is to somewhere else? So I did that. I disconnected everything, reconnected it. I disconnected it from the outlet where it was, moved it to a different position, connected it into a different outlet to receive power. And guess what? My internet service was back on. For whatever reason, where that router and modem was, there was an interference with my frequency. Somebody's going to get that. It disrupted my internet service, so I could not get online with Google, with my website or my webmaster. There are many of you that where you are right now, in that place, in that relationship, with certain family members, with certain friends or frenemies that are nothing more than disguised enemies, that have a death decree against your business, have a death decree against your ministry, have a death decree, have waged a death decree against your assignment from the Most High Yahweh, that when you move from that place that is disrupting your frequency to truly hear from him, and that the scales will be removed from your eyes, that you will see that you're surrounded by a bunch of Judases. They have already sold you out for 30 pieces of silver. And when you are placed, modem, router, in a different location and connected to receive that power, now you have regained your frequency level, your energy. And finally, I'm going to say this, that wherever the Most High, through Yeshua, allows you to be uprooted, to be planted, to be disconnected, to be now connected in a different place, a different space, don't go back. See, because of toxic guilt and self-blame, false responsibility and obligation, we oftentimes, and this comes from our childhood, and that now it morphs into our adulthood relationships. We learn these things as children, that because mom and dad got a divorce, somehow it's because of me. Maybe if I would have done something, they would still be together. You may be a woman who found yourself in domestic violence, getting beat for no reason, being cheated on for no reason. You may be a man who found yourself being cheated on by your wife. Well, maybe if I would have done this, maybe if I wouldn't work so much, but I had to keep food on the table. Well, maybe if I would have catered to him more, maybe if I would have done certain things, then we would still be together. Maybe I contributed to being abused. Maybe I contributed to him cheating or her cheating. No, you didn't. That's false guilt. That's toxic guilt. You are not responsible for a dysfunctional person's dysfunctional behavior. I'm going to say that again. You, ma'am, you, sir, you are not responsible for a toxic person's behavior. That is their behavior and not yours. But oftentimes, those who suffer from toxic guilt, self-blame, it leads to codependency. What is codependency? Being enabled or supported by someone to continue a lifestyle that may not be beneficial or healthy for you. So when you suffer from loneliness, when you suffer from emptiness, when you suffer from guilt and shame, it's easy to find yourself in a codependent relationship with a narcissist. And there are many people who are nothing more than just dark, sociopathic narcissists. They're like spiritual and emotional vampires, latching on to people to suck their very energy. And they don't even have the frequency to hear from the Most High to get out of that situation. But when he allows you to be uprooted or disconnected, don't go back. See, Moses did go back, but he was on assignment. But he didn't go back before that time. You don't have to go back. When God delivers you from something, he doesn't intend for you to go back. You don't owe an explanation. There may not be any closure. You don't forget this false sense of obligation. And that's what narcissists do. They commingle with the one who has self-blame issues, or that is bound by a toxic guilt and a false sense of obligation, who is codependent. Narcissists love codependence. Why? Because they can manipulate them. Narcissists never do wrong. They never think wrong. They're the greatest thing since sliced bread. They never hold themselves accountable for their own madness. And they can shame a codependent. They can blame a codependent to get what they want from that codependent. So If the Most High has disconnected you from people who are dysfunctional, who are toxic, and who mean you no good, don't go back. You don't owe them nothing, but you owe yourself everything. And that is self-love, self-awareness, self-appreciation, because you have a purpose in this life to fulfill. And those individuals that were leeches and vampires that were connected to you, blocking your spiritual and emotional frequency, they were on assignment to do just that. So if this has been a blessing to you, I don't know where my webmaster is going to send this, Twitter, Facebook, IG, whatever, YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, just follow me for some more real talk. And that's at YouTube at Shame Free Life. The number 4, you. Shame Free Life. Number 4, you. And until next time, as I always say, and I will continue to say, because I can do it, because I love you like that, I salute you like that, and the Most High, He has a purpose for us just like that. Your life, your precious life, your valuable life, your honorable life, your powerful life, your significant life, it begins when you say so. Until next time, shalom to you. I'm out. Shame Free Life.
Yeah, shame free life. Shame free life. Shame free life. Yeah. Shame free life. Shame free life. Shame free life. Shame free life.